Hey everyone, I would like to share my testimony with you guys, telling you how I came to Jesus. It was around like 2011 for me when I started feeling God calling me to surrender my life to Him. And before that, I did a lot of clubbing, a lot of smoking, a lot of drinking, just a lot of even sex before marriage. I was just doing what I wanted to do. And I remember this one day, I kept saying, like, this is how I knew when God was calling me to a different place in my life, to give my life over to Him. Because I kept feeling like, I kept saying to my friends, like, that were around at the time, this is going to be my last time going to the club. This is my last time going to the club. And I just kept saying that. And then before I know it, I'd be back at the club. So this one particular day, I was supposed to go to Bible study. And I got invited to the club, and so I went ahead and went, and instead of going to Bible study. And I remember when I got there at the club tonight, this guy, he had bought me a drink, and so we were talking, and we started talking. He started telling me about his family, and he told me his dad was a pastor, and I was like, what? I was supposed to go to church tonight, actually. And he was like, no, you weren't. And I was like, what? And he was like, if you were supposed to be at church, you would have went to church. Somebody who goes to church wouldn't have chose the club over church. And at that moment, I was just like, and there's a lot more moments in my life that I could have come into Jesus moments. But that moment for me was because I kept feeling God telling me, let this go. But nobody around me was trying to let that go. Nobody around me found anything wrong with how we were living and smoking and drinking and just doing all these things and having sex with men and stuff like that. And it just, nobody felt that urgency. And I realized after a while after saying yes to God that He calls us at different times in our life. And sometimes we try to wait for everyone else, but we cannot do that. So that, I remember like a few days later, like that sat on my mind what the guy said to me. And I remember getting on my knees in my room and crying out to God. And I remember the Lord telling me to throw away all my alcohol. And on my dresser, where my TV was, my nightstand, I had alcohol bottles. And I remember coming out of my room, and I had like 2 garbage bags of just empty and some full alcohol bottles. And I remember being embarrassed, but I remember God telling me, don't be ashamed, that He picked me up where I was, and I would just get on my knees and cry out to God. And I remember surrendering my life to God. I met my husband not too long after that, but we were just friends, and we both decided to be celibate and wait till we got married. And so that was the best decision of my life, and I would never choose anything other than God, no matter how hard it gets. Sometimes it's really hard on this walk, but every day I think about it's nothing out there for me. It's nothing out there for me. So I hope this testimony blessed you guys as much as it blessed me. Thanks.